Do you remember ever hearing a fact that was so peculiar that you believed it must have been a joke? When it comes to geography, the real world can be far more bizarre than science fiction. In today's video, we take a look at 20 astonishing facts about geography that may seem to be completely fabricated, but are, in reality, all accurate. You will be left wondering everything you thought you knew about our globe after learning about these strange realities, which range from rivers that boil to nations that are within countries and cities that span 2 continents. It's time to get started. 1. There's a river that actually boils in Peru. There is a river known as Shanai Timpishka that is located deep inside the Amazon jungle. This river is known for its boiling water. Temperatures may reach up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 93 degrees Celsius, which is high enough to kill animals quickly if they fall into it. The locals refer to it as the Boiling River, and it is widely considered one of the world's most intriguing natural marvels. Even though there are no active volcanoes in the area, scientists think that the water is able to reach these extraordinary temperatures because of geothermal heat that is trapped underneath. Although it may seem like a myth, the existence of the boiling river is indeed true. 2. Mount Everest isn't the tallest mountain. Sort of. Everest, which stands at 29,032 feet above sea level, is the peak that the majority of people call the highest on Earth. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is taller than Mount Everest when measured from base to peak. From its base, which is located deep in the Pacific Ocean, Mauna Kea has a height of nearly 33,500 feet, making it the tallest mountain in the world. The catch is that a significant portion of it is submerged in water. Although Everest is the mountain with the greatest elevation above sea level, Mauna Kea is really higher than Everest in terms of height. 3. There's a place where you can stand in 4 states at once. Located in the United States of America, the Four Corners Monument is a landmark that marks the intersection of the states of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. The only place in the nation where 4 states meet is at this particular position. Taking photographs with one limb in each state at the same time is a popular activity among tourists. Old measuring mistakes have caused the monument to be off from its precise location. Yet the fact remains that it is theoretically possible to be in 4 different states at the same time. 4. Africa is the only continent in all 4 hemispheres. Africa holds the unique distinction of being present in all 4 hemispheres: the northern, the southern, the eastern, and the western regions. The fact that its enormous size extends over both the equator and the prime meridian gives it a completely unique position. This indicates that Africa is home to some of the most diverse climates, cultural traditions, and biological variety found anywhere in the globe. Africa is the only continent that spans all 4 hemispheres. 5. There's a town where it rains fish. A peculiar phenomenon known as lluvia de peces, or rain of fish, is encountered by the people who live in the little hamlet of Lloro, which is located in Honduras. At the very least, every year after severe storms, people discover fish floating on the streets. The villagers consider it a miracle. Although scientists believe waterspouts might be responsible for sucking fish from rivers and dropping them on shore. Although it may seem fictional, the phenomenon of fish raining down in this town is indeed a reality. This statement is true regardless of the reason. 6. The Dead Sea is so salty, you can float without trying. One of the saltiest bodies of water on the planet is the Dead Sea, which can be found between the countries of Israel and Jordan. The quantity of salt that it contains is over 10 times more than that of typical salt water. Individuals do not sink as a result of this. Rather, they float freely. The Dead Sea is so salty that plants and animals can't survive. This strange flying feeling draws tourists from all over the world. 7. There's a desert in Antarctica. The majority of us, when we hear the phrase desert, will immediately think of sand, searing heat, and camels. However, according to scientific definitions, a desert is any region that receives a relatively low amount of precipitation and is not always one that is hot. But this snow is mostly thousands of years old because new snowfall is rare. Because of the intense temperature, it is preserved, and Antarctica is transformed into a frozen desert. Therefore, while the Sahara Desert is the greatest hot desert, Antarctica is the largest desert overall, demonstrating that deserts are not necessarily located in hot environments. 8. Russia is bigger than Pluto. When people think of planets, even dwarf planets like Pluto, they tend to imagine something much larger than any nation. However, here is a reality that shocks you. It is absolutely true that the land area of Russia, which is the largest nation on our planet, is more than the whole surface area of Pluto. We naturally expect planets to be large compared to the countries on Earth, which is why this fact seems almost unbelievable. Understanding the size is essential. While Pluto is a component of our solar system, it is far smaller than the planets that constitute the primary solar system. It has a diameter of just around 2,377 kilometers, which is less than half the breadth of the United States of America. Pluto is actually smaller than our own moon. While this process is going on, Russia is spread out over 11 different time zones, extending from Eastern Europe all the way to the Pacific Ocean. This convergence of geography and astronomy results in a seemingly fabricated, yet genuinely accurate reality. 9. There's a city on 2 continents. Istanbul, which is located in Turkey, is in a position that is both European and Asian. The Bosphorus Strait splits the city in 2, with each half situated on a separate continent. This makes Istanbul the only large city in the world that truly connects 2 continents. The culture, cuisine, and architecture of this region all reflect this fusion, making it an intriguing example of the blending of East and West. Within a matter of minutes, it is possible for tourists to go from one continent to another. 10. Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. There is a valid reason why Canada is referred to as the land of lakes. Around 879,000 lakes may be found inside its boundaries, making it home to more than half of the natural lakes that can be found elsewhere in the globe. Great Bear Lake and Great Slave Lake are 2 of the largest lakes in the world, and both of them are immense. Canada has many lakes, making it one of the countries with the most freshwater resources. You will never be too far away from a lake, regardless of how large or little it may be. 11. There's an eternal lightning storm in Venezuela. Catatumbo lightning is a natural occurrence that takes place above Lake Maracaibo during the summer months in Venezuela. At this particular location, the lightning strike rate is the greatest of any other place in the whole planet. The unusual mix of winds and humidity is what scientists think is responsible for the continued occurrence of storms. Although it seems to be a scene from a movie, it is really a work of natural beauty. 12. The Pacific Ocean is bigger than all land combined. It is estimated that the Pacific Ocean encompasses around 63 million square miles, which is more than the total area of all the continents in the globe. In point of reality, it is so enormous that it is home to more than 25,000 islands, which is greater than any alternative ocean. Even if you were to take all of the land on Earth and try to put it within the Pacific Ocean, there would still be space left over. The Pacific Ocean is very large. The magnitude of its size is difficult to comprehend in its entirety. 13. There's a point in the ocean farther from land than anywhere else. Point Nemo is the name given to this location in the South Pacific Ocean, which is the most distant location on the whole planet. The distance from any land is around 1,450 nautical miles. Amazingly, the people who are closest to Point Nemo are often astronauts who are stationed on the International Space Station. They are circling above the planet at a distance of around 250 miles. As a result of its extensive distance from civilization, even microbes have a difficult time thriving there, making it one of the most isolated locations on the globe. 14. You can travel around the world without ever hitting land. There is a precise line that is referred to as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, and it is the point at which it is possible to sail around the world without ever coming into contact with any land. It would be possible to circumnavigate all land masses if you began your journey off the coast of Pakistan and then circled back across the Southern Ocean. The fact that this water channel is continuous is evidence that more than 70% of our world is covered by the ocean. Despite the fact that it may seem implausible, the Earth is really a water planet. 15. The Sahara Desert used to be green. In modern times, the Sahara has become the biggest hot desert in the world, with sand dunes that never stop. On the other hand, it was a verdant and lush place thousands of years ago, with rivers, lakes, and flora as its primary features. The area is home to cave paintings that depict a wide variety of animals, including crocodiles, hippos, and giraffes. Scientists think that changes in the orbit of the Earth caused changes in the patterns of rainfall, which resulted in the Sahara becoming the dry desert that we know today. On the other hand, this desert used to have the appearance of a tropical paradise rather than a wasteland. 16. Australia has pink lakes. For example, there is a lake in Western Australia, known as Lake Hillier, that has a hue that is similar to bubblegum pink. Particular types of algae and bacteria that flourish in saline environments are responsible for the breathtaking pink color. The color seems to have been photoshopped, yet it is quite genuine and will be there forever. The color of the water does not change even after it has been removed from the bottle. The lake is protected, so the only way for visitors to see it is from the air. Yet, it is one of the most peculiar optical illusions that nature has to offer. 17. The Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the world's oxygen. Sort of. The Amazon is often referred to as the lungs of the earth because of the fact that it is responsible for producing 20% of the oxygen that is found on the planet. Indeed, this is the case, but here is the catch. The majority of the oxygen that it generates is used by the rainforest itself via the processes of respiration and decomposition. Although the Amazon is essential for the preservation of biodiversity and climate, the majority of the oxygen that humans breathe comes from phytoplankton, which are microscopic plants that live in the ocean. In spite of this, the Amazon continues to be one of the most important ecosystems. 18. There's a country inside a country inside a country. This may seem to be a conundrum, but it is in fact totally accurate. There are nations that are wholly contained inside other countries, a condition that is referred to as an enclave. One of the most well-known instances is the country of Lesotho, which is located in southern Africa and is completely encircled by South Africa. It is necessary to go via South Africa in order to leave or enter Lesotho, despite the fact that the nation has its own government, culture, and cultural identity. Considering that Lesotho is significantly dependent on its bigger neighbor for commerce and access to the outside world, its distinctive geography plays a significant role in shaping both its economy and its politics. In addition, there are several remarkable examples of enclave nations throughout Europe. The Vatican City itself is the smallest nation in the world, and it is located in the very center of Rome, which is located in Italy. Although it is a very small country, it is a sovereign nation and serves as the spiritual headquarters of the Catholic Church at the same time. Such a situation exists with San Marino, which is one of the oldest republics in the world and is totally encircled by Italy. Despite having a very tiny area, San Marino has managed to keep its independence for centuries, which is a remarkable accomplishment in the history of Europe. The existence of these enclaves helps to illustrate how peculiar and complicated human boundaries may be. These nations exist as countries within countries, demonstrating that geography may sometimes appear like a riddle. Many countries have lengthy open borders, but these nations exist as countries within countries. 19. The longest place name on Earth has 85 letters. Tamatau hakatangi hangako awo awo tamatiat, uripukaka piki mang, horo nuku pokai wenu, aki tanataho, is the name of a hill in New Zealand that is so lengthy that it nearly seems like it was written by someone with a keyboard issue. Naturally, the majority of the residents do not use the whole name on a daily basis. Instead, they just refer to it as Tomata. The name, which originates from the Maori language, did not come about by chance in any way. In reality, it is a narrative about Tamatea, a mythical warrior and ancestor who exists in the past. The following is a rough translation of what it means. The summit where Tamatea, the man with the big knees, the climber of mountains, the land swallower who traveled about, played his flute to his loved one. The phrase is a stunning representation of the Maori practice of oral storytelling, which includes the preservation of history, identity, and culture via the use of place names. In addition to the fact that it has become a peculiar attraction, attempting to speak the entire version is nearly a difficulty in and of itself. The name of this hill is legally acknowledged, making it one of the most intriguing and tongue-twisting monuments in New Zealand. Although it may seem like a joke or internet meme, the hill is also formally recognized. 20. There's a spot where you can be in 3 countries at once. One of the most remarkable places in Europe is a spot where 3 distinct countries, Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, converge at the same position. Just try to picture yourself putting one foot in Germany and the other in the Netherlands, and then extending out with your arm to Belgium. It would be nearly like teleporting without doing any physical action. There is a monument that marks this specific tri-point, which is situated close to the city of Aachen in Germany. They come to snap photographs and check off the item on their bucket list that says, being in 3 countries at once. It is interesting to note that Europe has a number of different tri-points due to the fact that its nations are so closely located together. Nonetheless, the tri-point that consists of Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands is among the most well-known due to the fact that it is very accessible and well-developed for tourists. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating information about the world in which we live.